Hello guys and welcome back. Okay, so this is our first how-to video for Fallout 4, and in this video I've noticed a couple of people, and one or two people have messaged me and asked if I knew how, and that's how to use certain items and how to do certain things with the conveyor belts. For the most case, some of the conveyor belts are pretty straightforward. There's not much to them. As you can see, we're in Sanctuary. We have two separate setups. We're going to start down here with the hopper, and I'll explain this one to you. So first of all, I'll explain what I've got set up here. First of all, I've got the hopper set up, which is what we're going to put our components in, with the conveyor belt running off, coming round. These corners are just purely to keep it so I can keep it all level on this little bit. Coming down to a laser tripwire onto the, do you know what? I'm not actually sure what they're called, so let's have a quick look at that. Just quickly go through. I think it's a sorting arm or something along them lines. I can't remember what it's called. It's not good, is it? The left and right dividers. On this particular one, I believe it's a right divider. Obviously we have the split on the conveyor belt going in, and they're both ammunition plants, and going into sorting bins and conveyor storage at the end. Now, I did have these on this particular part on a separate switch, so I could turn this switch on and off for the laser tripwire and the sorter independently from the hopper. I'll explain that later. Now, basically, what's going to happen on this one is everything will start off in the hopper. It will travel down the conveyor belt all the way around. It will come to the laser tripwire, and depending on which position the divider arm is in, it will trip it to swap position, and it will go that way and this way. So this will basically divide all the stuff coming down into the two different ammunition plants. Now, it does a relatively good job. I've done a lot of testing with these and timings and things. Doesn't split them 100% even. I've not found a way to possibly set it evenly, but it does split them. So first of all, I'm going to turn the conveyor belt on, just because I want to show you some stuff using the terminal that I have attached over here. Now, you notice I have got two separate ammunition plants going. I have done a lot of testing and I have tried many different ways, but unfortunately, if two ammunition plants are attached to the same conveyor belt, even though you can split the stuff to go in two different ones, you can only make one type of ammunition at a time, because even though you attach a terminal to it, the terminal controls everything on that power line. And even though you could attach this terminal and this ammunition plant to one set of power, and that ammunition plant and terminal to another set, because of the way the conveyor belts currently work, that if one part is powered, everything is powered, they're still classed as being on the same power loop. So all it does is it makes one terminal you can use, the other one doesn't work, crashes, or just doesn't matter. So no matter what, you can only set these, with this sort of setup, you can only have this ammunition plant and this ammunition plant making the same thing. So I'll quickly go through the settings on how I've got this particular one set up. As I say, I have done quite a bit of testing with this. So on the hopper control, the output timer I have set to 4 seconds between each thing, so that just means it'll let something out, then wait 4 seconds, and then it'll let something else out, and then wait 4 seconds, and then let something else out. That's it. Now, the output force I've left on standard. I haven't touched that. because all the output force does is adjust with how much force it kicks something out of the hopper. If you start messing with that, on certain setups it'll start throwing the things off the conveyor belt and you start losing materials everywhere, so I haven't bothered with that. Both my ammunition plants on this are set to making 10mm rounds. So for that we're going to need 2 lead and 1 fertiliser per 10mm per, I think it makes 20 at a time, but that's that setup. Now the main switch is on. I have this switch independently powering the laser tripwire and that. That's purely because if I have it where it's constantly on, then this tripwire doesn't particularly work, or I found that it didn't work for me in this instance. I have had it all on the same power before and it's worked fine, but in this particular case it didn't want to. So this is on its own switch, but I will turn them on. As you can see, the laser tripwire is on and that's currently in the open position, and that's it. Now we've nothing in the hopper at the minute, but I'm going to put some stuff in. Let's go through to the junk. Ignore the copper, that's because I was making 50 caliber rounds to start with. I was going to test with them, but in this particular circumstance I will put all the fertiliser in, I will put all the lead in. Ignore the pencil, though it will work using the pencil and it will just store the independent thing. But this is going to kick one out. The first one we will follow around, like so. Now I'm not quite sure what the fault is. I will show you something with the copper once we've got this started. But that'll trip that, which will change that. That slowly goes down there, and you find it's not quite made it that time. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like this one should make it, and it has done, and then that one will go through. So like I say, it doesn't do it perfectly even, but it doesn't do too bad of a job. Something to do with the physics on it. I think it's every other time it lets one go into this, which is a bit of a pain. I don't know, it's something to do with the physics on it. It doesn't always work. Alright, just let everything through that way this time. The other thing, if you really want to make sure it works, we can sort this and we'll go on the terminal. It's making me out to be a liar with the testing now. Oh, excuse me, high pitched voice there for a second. I've got a bit of a bad throat today, so that's why I sound a little croaky and I keep going high pitched all of a sudden. But there we go. We'll change it to 5-second output. That will stop that from happening. During the testing, 4 seconds worked perfectly. Now 5 seconds will work. Okay, that one's ended up on its lid. And we're getting next to nothing at all, apart from 1 fertiliser going into there. Okay. It's to do with the physics engine on the game that causes all these problems, but hopefully everything is now set at 5 seconds apart. And that won't work on this particular one because it's doing it like that. Oh no, it has worked. So what we will do is take all the fertiliser back out of there. We'll transfer it all back in and let that do that. As you can see, the lead's going round. It should work perfectly on the lead because the lead has a bit more weight to it. The resistance and everything, part of the physics engine works a lot better. Plus with a 5-second delay it should work brilliantly. Yeah, that seems to be working quite nicely on there. So that's now managing to make something because it had stuff in and it makes 30. Oh no. I'm pretty sure it makes 10 at a time. I already had some in there, I believe. And I've got the 50 caliber and 10mm rounds in there. Yeah, it makes 10 every time. It'll have to wait for the fertiliser to come round. But we'll let that carry on. And I will show you the next setup over here and what this is. Now this is basically a way of, I've set it up so it sorts everything that is currently in my workshop. So what I've used is a vacuum hopper. Put it next to the workshop, it doesn't need to be touching. And this will basically suck all the components out of the workshop one by one, and dog meat is in the way. Send them down, so at this particular time it's sending wood, which I think it looks quite smart actually set up like that, and it's going into a component sorter. Now the way the component sorters work is I have adhesive, copper, aluminium, lead and steel in it. So anything that comes down here that has any of them as part of its components, so if I send the pencil down, which I'll do in a second, it has lead in it, it will send that pencil through and into here, and it will store anything, as you can see here, with them components in it, and it will store it in this conveyor storage that I've set up here. Anything that's not got them items in it, it will allow to carry on, and that will then come into my sorter. Now I have my sorter set up that anything that when this doesn't sort out the components, so when it comes through it will find the fertiliser and it will send only fertiliser into this conveyor storage. Anything that isn't fertiliser it will send down here. Okay, we have a few things causing problems there, but we'll move them. I'll sort them in a minute. Anything else that doesn't contain the components in that first one or isn't fertiliser will then come back down into here. Hence why we have mods, armour, carrots, combat rifle sights, gears, everything in there. No fertilisers come through yet, so that's empty. And anything containing adhesive, copper, aluminium, lead or steel comes into it. Now I'm not doing this for any particular reason, this is just set up to show you guys. Now what I will do is I will drop the pencil, let it auto save. I think I've lost the pencil though. Oh, not the pencil is there. I've just noticed all of them on the floor there. I don't know what's happened with that, but we will sort that. So pencil, drop onto the conveyor belt, we'll follow it round. Now the pencil contains both lead and wood, but because it contains lead it is sent down this way and it'll go into here. Sorted. So because one of its components is lead, it's sorted and it's put over here. Now I could actually get that pencil, send it through. In fact, we will do this. And I'm sorry about the failing light. It was bright and early when I first started doing this. Everything has gone through from there, so we'll go into this and we'll send the pencil through. As you can see, all these have finished. That has 6 fertiliser and 1 lead, that has 1 fertiliser and 1 lead. So the pencil should come round. There it is. I'm really sorry about the light. Like I said, it had plenty of light when we first started. But that will set off the tripwire, which will then send it down this way into here, to which we will have enough lead and it will start. It will then produce the 10mm rounds and the byproduct of wood will still be in there. So you just, if you're going to do things like that, you have to keep checking. Now, I have this set up over here and it's permanently turned on. And I have tested this as well. I loaded the hopper up and sent plenty of things through. And I left, fast travelled to somewhere else and walked back. And unfortunately, this all only works while you are in the settlement. So it's not like we can load up the hopper with loads of lead and fertiliser and copper, set it going, and it will make all of the 50 caliber rounds that we want continuously. It won't. It will only make them continuously while you are in the settlement. So the moment you leave the settlement, it stops. When you come back, it carries on. So, not brilliant. Unfortunately, it would be a lot better if we could have a factory somewhere, load it up with stuff, disappear, come back, and it'll have built everything. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. But it's not a particularly slow process anyway. I mean, I have my factory set up producing my rounds for me at Boston Airport. I'm still working on bits and bats for it, and I will show you that setup in a future video, because I will show you some more advanced ways of doing certain things. So I'm just going to go and stand under a light. You'll see this is the same save that we're rebuilding Sanctuary on, hence why all the buildings are a bit thingy. The next video of which will be coming out on Monday. You can see just in the distance there a new building. You'll see that being made, plus the power distribution, so they're coming soon. But yes, basically that is it for today's video. Just some basics on conveyor belts. I hope it's helped any of you that are struggling with it. At the time of recording this as well, we are my speech is all over the place today. We are having a patch that we can download today. It should automatically do it on your PS4, and I believe that is 1.6.4 if I'm correct. I might be wrong about the number, pretty sure that's the number though. That will hopefully have some fixes in for the Contraptions DLC, so that will help out with a few things. The PC got it on the 5th of July, we're hopefully getting it today. I've turned on now and mine hasn't updated, but I am UK time and I believe it's only getting released at 10 AM Eastern time, I believe it is, or I may be confused about the timings, but obviously because of the time of recording this it's only 10 AM UK time. The download won't be on yet, it'll be about between tea time and 8 o'clock UK time, 10 AM American time, or something along them lines. But hopefully that will fix a few problems we're having, mainly with anything that uses rollers. Hopefully it'll fix that. I did mention that in a video that I put on the other day, and that is about it. I'm not going to go on about mods again. I've told you everything I know about mods for the minute. Hopefully I'll get more information in the next couple of days. I will be putting up a news video tomorrow to give you the updated news on Fallout and any other gaming wise. That's going to be a new feature for us every Friday. I will give you a sneak peek. Included in tomorrow's is a sneak peek at the Vault-Tec DLC that has leaked for Fallout. So I will be showing a few pictures on that seem to have leaked. It is looking quite good. There's still lots of rumours going around, but I will show you some of them and some other news and info on a few other games and a bit more, possibly a bit more about mods on Fallout. Hopefully we'll have a bit more information. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I will do another video on conveyor belts and more advanced setups, how to use things, how to split things a bit better. Just how to use all the components in an actual setup. I mean, I have that set up coming there, but not many of you are going to particularly want to set that up to sort everything out. It's a lot faster to just go through it yourself if you need to do that. But there is real uses for this, and I will show you. Now, where I have the vacuum hopper, you can't see particularly because of the light, but there we go. Where there's that much of a gap, it doesn't have to be that close to it. If you want to use one of these vacuum hoppers to take everything out of your workshop at Starlight Driving, you can. You just put that end of the hopper as close as possible to the building that your workshop is in, and it will suck it out of the workshop. So it's not brilliant for realism if you want realism for the game, but again, it is a game. Not everything can be made perfect, but it does work. Again, I have no idea why all this purified water is down here. But I will collect it all up, and we'll figure that out later. It's not done anything like that before, so there must be something's glitched out somewhere. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful to you. I hope it explained anything, if any of you were struggling. Now, I know I've not gone into the very basics, but if you guys need a video basic showing you how to set up a basic conveyor belt or anything else, let me know in the comments. I'll be quite happy to do that. If you enjoyed the video and it helped you out, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more, subscribe away, and we'll keep the content coming. But until next time, I've been Ian, I've been your host. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.